Good evening. This is a regularly scheduled meeting, Kettering City Council. Today's date is December the 14th, and as always, we'll begin with a Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Before we begin tonight's agenda, we'll pause for a brief invocation. Dear Lord, thank you for all who serve the Kettering community. Give us enthusiasm for our work and wisdom to make the right decisions. May we remain humble and grateful for the opportunity to lead. Guide this council so we may continue to serve our citizens with integrity and purpose, always remembering to be worthy of these responsibilities entrusted in us by our residents. Next, let's first, Miami Valley Communication TV operator in the back, Mike Soproni. Mike, thank you as always. Also like to welcome Cub Scout Pack 28 in the back. Thank you guys for coming, guys and gals. Thank you. Is this for a merit badge? No. Welcome. Next, we'll move on to approval of the minutes, December 7th, 2021 council meeting and workshop minutes. Vice Mayor Kleepaz.
Thank you, Your Honor. I've reviewed the minutes from the December 7th council meeting and workshop meetings and found them to be in order. I move for their approval.
Second.
Any questions or comments? Being none, call the roll, please.
Mr. Kleepaz.
Yes.
Mrs. Fisher.
Yes.
Mr. Scott.
Yes.
Ms. Duval.
Yes.
Mr. Duke.
Yes.
Mr. Lauder.
Abstain.
Mayor Patterson.
Yes. Moving on to proclamations and special presentations. Begin with a proclamation for Mr. Lauder. I have a proclamation, whereas today Bill Lauder is being honored by his many friends and colleagues as we celebrate the 8 years of service Bill has dedicated to the Kettering community as a member of the Kettering City Council. And whereas Bill was first elected to serve all residents in the Kettering community in 2014, where he continued to advocate for the betterment of the quality of life for all Kettering residents. And whereas Bill's commitment to serve the Kettering community is symbolized in his work sponsoring quality of life items for Kettering youth, including the summer lunch program at Trails of Oak Creek, Optimus Kids Day in the park, Family Fun Fest at Trent Arena, and planting trees on Make a Difference Day. And whereas Bill has had a profound impact on the youth of the Kettering community for many generations, and his legacy will continue to thrive in the Kettering community for many more generations to come through his work in ensuring our parks and community have plenty of trees to continue to enhance the scenic beauty of our community, and that our bike paths are state-of-the-art, which will continue to make Kettering a premier destination to live, work, and play. And whereas Bill is a shining example of what it means to be a public servant and the importance of preparing our youth to assume leadership roles within our community. Now, therefore, I, Donald E. Patterson, Mayor of the City of Kettering, Ohio, on behalf of City Council and the community, do hereby proclaim December 30th, 2021, to be Bill Lauder Day in the city of Kettering, Ohio, and on behalf of the City Council, City Administration, and the residents of Kettering, would like to commend Bill Lauder for his exemplary service and devotion to the Kettering community and offer our sincere best wishes for a bright and rewarding future filled with good health and happiness. Signed this day, Donald E. Patterson, Mayor.
Thank you, Your Honor. On behalf of... Those were kind words on behalf of my other brother, Bill, who you must be talking about. Thank you.
Next, we'll move on to a proclamation, Donald E. Patterson Day. Mr. Klepaz.
15 years I've been on council, and this is the first proclamation I've ever seen that was signed by the vice mayor. So I'm really proud and happy to be doing this proclamation this evening. Today we honor Mayor Donald E. Patterson for his service and dedication to the Kettering community for the past 24 years. And whereas Donald E. Patterson was first elected to Kettering City Council in 1997, where he served as an at-large city council member, and later on was elected as Kettering's 10th mayor in 2006. Whereas under Mayor Donald E. Patterson's tenure, the Kettering community has experienced tremendous growth, including the modernization and upgrades of the Kettering Police Department and all Kettering fire stations, the expansion and completion of a state-of-the-art pool and roof at the Kettering Recreation Complex, and a thriving economy which has made Kettering a premier destination for growing companies and innovations. And whereas Donald E. Patterson has shown us the true meaning of being an exceptional leader by his ability to bring the community together to overcome any challenge that has come our way, including the economic crisis of 2007, the windstorm of 2008, the Memorial Day tornadoes in 2019, and the current COVID pandemic. And whereas Donald E. Patterson recognized the importance of vital support charitable organizations in the Kettering community provide to the Kettering area, and with the generous support of volunteers, partners, and sponsors, the Mayor's Ball for Charity events were able to raise more than $230,000 to support Kettering community organizations such as Daybreak, We Care Arts, the Kettering Education Foundation, SIXA, the Kettering Backpack Program, Choices, the Franklin Foundation, Bridget's Path, and the Multiple Systems Atrophy Coalition. And whereas Donald E. Patterson's unwavering love for the Kettering community is evident in the giving of his time to attend every community event, concert, musical production, special birthday celebrations, block parties, and attending etiquette classes with Kettering City School 5th grade classes. And whereas the Kettering community would also like to express our appreciation and gratitude to Maureen Patterson for allowing us to borrow Mayor Donald E. Patterson for the past 24 years. We know his successful tenure would not have been possible without the support and grace of Kettering's First Lady. Now therefore, I, Tony Klepaz, the Vice Mayor of the City of Kettering, Ohio, on behalf of City Council and community, do hereby proclaim December 31st, 2021 to be Donald E. Patterson Day in the City of Kettering, Ohio, and on behalf of City Council, City Administration, and residents of Kettering, would like to express our sincere gratitude to Mayor Donald E. Patterson for his service to the Kettering community and offer our best wishes for a well-deserved retirement filled with good health and happiness. Signed this 14th day of December, in the year 2021, and signed Tony Klepaz, Vice Mayor of the City of Kettering, Ohio.
Thank you for all the kind words that you had in that, but most of all for recognizing the sacrifices that Maureen made so that so that I could do that. My job was easy. I got to go out, meet friends, have dinners, do all kinds of things. But she supported me by staying home and doing the things so that I could do what I enjoyed, what I loved. And for that, I am most thankful. So next we'll move on to Andrea White, Representative Andrea White.
Hello. Well, I'm honored to be here, Mayor Patterson, on this last council meeting that a few of you will be attending, and it's an honor to meet the new members, and I look forward to working with you as your representative. I will say that I have a couple proclamations that I'd like to share. Bill's is a little smaller. You have to be with the position 15 years before the state gives you an official resolution. So you'll have to sit out a few years and maybe run again, and then we can get you a bigger one, okay? But I'll start with Bill, and I do want to say briefly, you know, Bill, I've worked with you over the years. You have made a profound impact on the children and families in this community. First, as your service through the school system, and as a council member. And we are grateful for your service, for the new ideas you've brought, for your passion, for getting things right, and looking out for the under-resourced as well as people who have lots of resources. You care about everybody. And in those years we've all been there, we now need glasses, so let me read this clearly. I'm pleased to extend special recognition to Bill Lauder for his 8 years of service to the Kettering City Council. Diligent and painstaking in your endeavors, you've achieved a noteworthy record of service as a councilman by ably fulfilling your myriad responsibilities and distinguish yourself as an elected official who's outstanding since 2014. Displaying sound judgment, a stellar work ethic, and valuable job skills, you've shown a sincere commitment to serving the Kettering City Council efficiently, professionally, and you deserve the high praise that you're getting as you finish out your service. I just want to tell you, to your credit, you've demonstrated what conscientious industriousness does to accomplish. You've done unflagging in the things you care about, and you've really made a difference. We want to commend you for your exemplary service and all you've done for the city, and I want to extend this to you on behalf of the state of Ohio.
Very nice.
And Mayor Patterson, you know, they take 24 years worth of all that you've done and try to summarize it in a gentle proclamation, but the characteristics that aren't included are just so how you have so humbly and gracefully done everything from don an apron to doing crazy things to, you know, feeding children to being a dogged, determined force for our city, whether it's things like income taxes or things like keeping our court here and all the different things that you do. I just want to thank you for just how personal you have approached this job and how caring you are, and your business acumen that you've brought to this city has made a tremendous impact in so many ways. As we drive around, we see the jobs, we see the development and the care. And of course, you know, as Maureen's husband, we're happy to recognize you today, and we're grateful for her work as well as First Lady of the city and all she's done. I will read you this proclamation on behalf of the House of Representatives, Donald E. Patterson, on the memorable occasion of your retirement as mayor of the city of Kettering. You've provided unparalleled leadership during your 24-year tenure with the city, and your professionalism and your sincerity have truly been inspirational. Elected to the council in 1997, of course, you've served as mayor the past 16 years. Just a few of the accomplishments, of course, we see the Wilmington Pike Improvement Project. We see your work at the Kettering Business Park, over at the courts and all the different development over there, and the way that you have determined to help our city. You've also contributed to so many organizations, the Dayton Area Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors, Miami Valley Regional Planning Commission Executive Board, the Miami Valley Communications Council as mayor and city managers, the Ohio Mayor's Alliance Executive Board that you've made such a significant contributor to statewide, and the U.S. Conference of Mayors Economic Development Committee. You've approached all these responsibilities with the same competence and integrity and commitment. You've earned the respect and admiration of all of us that work alongside you, and I will tell you that you will be sincerely missed, but you won't be missed because we will see you in all of the aspects of our city. So we truly appreciate all of your service on behalf of the state of Ohio.
Okay. Next, we'll move on to, and thank you, Andrea. I appreciate that and all your kind words and all. And it's been a pleasure to work with the state from a local level as well as through the Ohio Mayor's Alliance and the things that we are trying to do as a group of mayors, both Democrat and Republican. And that isn't always easy. That isn't always the case, but we've kind of found our footing on that, and we appreciate the legislature reaching out from both sides of the aisle and then trying to find some common ground, because a lot of the things that affect our residents aren't Democrat or Republican. So we look forward, and I know Peggy is going to be part of that organization. So we look forward to continuing to work with you folks there. So thank you. Now we'll move on to a presentation for Christmas Day at Poland Farm. Dawn is our volunteer administrator, and she will be making the presentation. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. And Mayor Patterson, I have to say it has been a pleasure. I haven't been here for very long, but it's been a pleasure to get to know you and learn through you why this is a very special community. And certainly you've been a longtime supporter of Christmas Day at Poland Farm, so that's what I'm here to talk about today. So good evening, everybody, and happy holidays. So I'm very pleased to announce that Christmas Day is returning to Poland Farm again this year. Of course, last year we did kind of put that to the side, but it will be returning 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. at Poland Farm. This year we are going to move all of the food and activities into the main barn. So this year food will still be served on the first floor, provided by Kohler Catering. That's a huge thing to be able to say that we have a hot buffet meal. That meal is also being supported by MCL Restaurant and Bakery, as well as Mark's Grocery Store is also supporting that portion. Upstairs, we'll have a variety of activities available. So, of course, traditional Christmas caroling. We'll have children's crafts and coloring, free books for children of all ages, story time, trains, and then, of course, the featured guest of the evening, the afternoon, Santa Claus will be on call to take pictures, socially distanced. We do have an option for our friends who are not yet comfortable spending time inside and gathering. We will offer a drive-through opportunity, and Cheryl's Cookies has graciously donated some cookies for those treat bags that will be available outside. We have a number of volunteers who will be supporting that, giving holiday cheer and smiles to everybody driving through. And certainly this would not happen without community support. This is free and open to anybody in our community. Again, this is a very special thing that our community offers. So certainly our feature supporter this year is Day Air Credit Union, Kohler Catering, and then of course, longtime supporter, Mayor Patterson. I understand there will be Esther Price chocolates, which is very popular. Marion Dodaro and Mike Sells. There it is, on cue. A Christmas tradition. Awesome. And then I also want to give my gratitude to Bill and Marinelle Bradley for all the support they've been giving myself and the assistant volunteer coordinator, Nick Cerise. This is our first year coordinating this, and without Bill and Marinelle kind of helping us along the way, I don't think it would be as successful, and certainly it's been a blast to work with Bill and Mary Nell. So I'm very excited to be a part of this tradition, and I invite everybody to come out, even if it's for a short amount of time. If there's any questions, of course, call the volunteer office. We're available to answer all of those, and we look forward to seeing everybody. Merry Christmas.
Dawn, thank you for, what, get out of here.
Bill.
You stay for a few minutes. I want,
Who is he?
I don't know, that's Santa, I think.
You got to taste them to make sure they're good.
Dawn, I just wanted to thank you for
He's one of those porch.
what we've kind of done to kind of keep some new normalcy, whether it was a drive-through for Neighborhood Pride or whether it was a drive-through for the volunteer luncheon, and now a drive-through to the Christmas party at Poland Farm. So thank you. That's something that we never had to do. So you guys have kind of gone with the flow, accommodated those that didn't feel comfortable in coming to some of those things. So thank you for doing that and caring about our residents. So thank you. Next, my turn, huh? What's that? I hope not. We'll find out.
You don't think you'll need them? Yes, I have them ready. Yeah, I'm telling you.
It's kind of weird looking at you guys. I don't see. I know. How do you think they feel? One thing that you get to do as mayor is to recognize people who serve this community and do above and beyond what a traditional person would do. They love their community, they give to their community, and one thing you get to do as mayor is provide a key to the city of Kettering. Now, I believe I've only given out two. One to Miss Shrimp sitting here, and one to our former assistant city manager, not you, Mark. As I call Mark assistant city manager at the tree lighting, so that's kind of our little thing. But so I've only given out two, so I don't take this lightly. I think this is something that the people person does more than just volunteer a few hours or serves on a few committees. So I have 5 keys to the city that I'm going to be giving out tonight. First one I'm giving out to is to a couple who have been unbelievable workers within our community for years. They're involved with the parade. They're involved, as you heard, excuse me, you heard with the Christmas celebration that we have at Poland Farm. They have the best block party of anybody in the city. And actually, I know you thought this was the first proclamation I received, but I received my first proclamation from an individual and the block party. And so that was the first proclamation that I received, and that came from Bill Bradley. Well, no, this award's for Mary Nell, Bill. It's not for you. So I always got that she was the main character in that relationship. But I do have Bill, and we've had a fun time going back and forth, and I don't think I missed many of your block parties. And not only did I get a proclamation last year, they had a rock they gave me that they had signed and written on. that is still in somebody's yard, in your yard, but they gave me my own box of Esther Price candy. So, Bill, thank you, and thank Mary Nell for all of your years of service to our community. And I'd like to present to you the key to the city of Kettering, Ohio.
It is very appropriate, very appropriate. Better. Very nice.
Oh, here's a box. This is for you. I think for Mary. Yeah. The next key to the city is to a to a gentleman that I've had the pleasure to serve alongside, and he was recognized earlier this evening. Now, you noticed your day was the day before my day, so we couldn't have them on the same day. So
Proud of that.
I offered to take the 30th, but you know. I have a key to the city of Kettering to Bill Lauder. Bill was retired director of student services for Kettering City Schools, bachelor of science degree from Ohio University, and a master's degree from the University of Dayton. Bill's been a resident for Kettering for over 50 years. What Bill brought to our council, and everybody brings something a little different, and I think that's what makes us so unique and so able to do so many things. Bill brought a school background to the city of Kettering, and many of you know, some of you don't know, the relationship we have with the schools and the things we do with the schools. And when we would be talking about schools and things we were going to do, we would all look to Bill for some leadership and some guidance about the schools and what the schools needed, and then how we could make them better and how we could be part of that. And I always welcomed that counsel and appreciated the friendship that you develop on council with your fellow council people. So, Bill, I'd like to present to you this time a key to the city of Kettering, Ohio, presented to Bill Lauder for your dedication to our community.
The way he started off, I didn't know anything about this. When he said, I've been on council a long time. Oh, it's Thursday. I bet you gets one to Mark.
I'm gonna go with you,
I
Ben.
don't know.
I'm doing pretty damn good.
Doing awesome.
I haven't choked up so bad yet. Next, I am pleased to present the key to the city of Kettering, Kettering, Ohio, to, Bruce Duke from District 4. Bruce has been on council since 12/1 of 1986. Bruce is a retired assistant director, Counseling Center, University of Dayton, PhD in counseling, Ohio State University, and a resident of Kettering for over 46 years. Bruce is the only one that was on council when I came on council. Bruce and I had a friendship. We developed a closeness. We enjoyed conventions. We enjoyed talking about the city of Kettering and just reminiscing. Bruce and I, at one point in time, decided we both wanted to be mayor. and we both ran against each other. Now, you would think in today's environment that that would make you enemies for life. It didn't make us, excuse me, enemies for life. We maintained our friendship, and our friendship grew stronger. So, Bruce, thank you for all of your years of service, far exceeding the number of years that I have, and everything that you've done for your community and your district, District 4, in making this a better place for all of us. And even with all those years that you served, you still have a deep passion for what you do for this community. So, Bruce, thank you.
Yeah, meet him
Oh,
halfway.
here.
Meet him halfway. That's good.
When he said all the years that he'd been on council, I thought that's what he was giving one to Bruce on council.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Next, I have a key to the city of Kettering presented to Walter A. Tony Kleepass. I just had to get that in. That's what my script had here. So, Tony is vice mayor of the city of Kettering, District 3. Tony's been on council since February of 2007. Retired NCR Corporation, graduate of Sinclair Community College and Capital University. Tony's been a resident of Kettering for more than 26 years. I think everybody in a group has a confidant that they talk to, they work with, they bitch to, they complain to, they do everything. And Tony was my go-to guy for that. No matter what the problem was or what the discussion needed to be made, we would meet at Panera Bread. And we were regulars at Panera Bread. And Tony and I laugh about it because when I'd come home after being up there for 3 hours, Maureen would always ask, "What did you two talk about?" And it was always the same answer. What was the answer, Tony?
Nothing.
Nothing.
There goes my script.
And while that's not true, we talked about everything. And if I was having frustrations, I took them out on Tony. If I was having questions or needed a pat on the back because we were doing something right, I talked to Tony. We've gone to UD basketball games. We've gone to all kinds of things. And Tony is a true friend. We dine, we go to UD games. It's been a wonderful, wonderful relationship. And therefore, I am pleased and honored to present this key to the city of Kettering to my friend, Tony.
I tell you, I got it right here. That's good, Steve. That's good, Steve.
Oh, here's your box.
Yeah, we still on agenda.
And last, but by no means last, to Mark Sweeterman, City Manager, City of Kettering. Mark has been with the City of Kettering since 1989. Mark became the Assistant City Manager in 2000 and City Manager in 2006, the same year I became Mayor. Mark received his bachelor degree in Business Administration and his master's degree in Public Administration, both from the University of Dayton. Go Flyers. City managers and mayors aren't always known for working well together, but we ended up finding a way to do that. And Mark would agree, we had times where we didn't agree. We had times where Mark would say, "Excuse me a second, let me close the door." But we found solutions, we found common areas, we found things to make this community greater. And, excuse me, while you heard a lot of words this evening about what I had done, these were things that I could never have done and would never have done or ever gotten through without the leadership from our city manager. People constantly say that they know I love this community, and that's true. But Mark Sweeterman loves this community as much as I do, if not more. He's a tireless public servant. He works to get things done. He works to make things better. He has made all of us on council better people because of his leadership and his guidance and his counsel. I would just like to say that I've enjoyed my 16 years. I've enjoyed all 24, but I've enjoyed 16 years as being your mayor. And I've enjoyed them in large part because I've had a gentleman standing next to me that had the same goals that I had, and that was to make the city of Kettering a better place. I can stand before you this evening and say I believe we were able to accomplish that. So, I'd like to present the key to the city of Kettering to Mark Sweeterman for your dedication to our community. There ain't a one of you thought that I'd get through that, is there?
Nope.
Didn't know you was going to do it.
All righty, next we'll move on to public hearings. We have none, so we'll move on to comments on legislation. Anyone wishing to speak before council with comments or new information about legislation on tonight's agenda may do so at this time. Each speaker is limited to 5 minutes. Speakers must state their name and address. Comments should be addressed to council. If you have comments that are not about legislation on tonight's agenda, there will be an opportunity for those to be heard later in the meeting. Is there anyone like to speak before council regarding legislation on tonight's agenda? All right. Next, we'll move on to ordinances in second reading. Vice Mayor Kleepass.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have an ordinance in second reading this evening to provide for the table of organization, position classification plan, compensation plan, and pay schedules and rules and regulations pertaining to conditions of work and supplemental benefits for the employees of the City of Kettering, Ohio, and to repeal ordinance number 4365-21, requested by the Human Resources Department. I move for approval.
Second.
Mr. Sweeterman.
Thank you, Your Honor. This ordinance in second reading is for essentially the personnel ordinance for the City of Kettering for our calendar year 2022. The ordinance calls for a 2.5% pay increase for our employees, and it also incorporates the recently negotiated and completed collective bargaining agreements for all of our bargaining units, also at 2.5%. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions of Mr. Sweeterman? Being none, call the roll, please.
Mr. Kleepass.
Yes.
Mr. Lauder.
Yes.
Mrs. Fisher.
Yes.
Mr. Scott.
Yes.
Ms. Duval.
Yes.
Mr. Duke.
Yes.
Mayor Patterson.
Yes.
Your Honor, I have a resolution accepting the recommendation of the Kettering Planning Commission in case number PC 21-002 concerning the property located at 4225 and 4235 Wilmington Pike, being requested by the council office. I move for approval.
Second.
Mr. Sweeterman.
Thank you, Your Honor. This resolution affirms the Planning Commission decision for Planning Commission Case 21-002, which was a request for a zoning map amendment to rezone the property located at 4225 and 4235 Wilmington Pike from R1 Suburban Residential, R4 Village Residence, and BP Business Park to O Office. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions of Mr. Sweeterman? Being none, call the roll, please.
Mr. Lauder.
Yes.
Mrs. Fisher.
Yes.
Mr. Scott.
Yes.
Ms. Duval.
Yes.
Mr. Duke.
Yes.
Mr. Kleepass.
Yes.
Mayor Patterson.
Yes.
Your Honor, I have a resolution authorizing the city manager to accept a donation from Day Air Credit Union. It's in the amount of $1,000, and it is requested by the Volunteer Services Office, and I move for approval.
Mr. Sweeterman.
Thank you, Your Honor. This resolution will allow us to accept a donation from our community partner, Day Air Credit Union. They have donated $1,000 for the Poland Farm Christmas party that Dawn and Mr. Bradley briefed you on earlier. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions of Mr. Sweeterman? Being none, call the roll, please.
Mrs. Fisher.
Yes.
Mr. Scott.
Yes.
Ms. Duval.
Yes.
Mr. Duke.
Yes.
Mr. Kleepass.
Yes.
Mr. Lauder.
Yes.
Mayor Patterson.
Yes.
Your Honor, I have a resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into one or more cost participation agreements with the Board of Commissioners of Montgomery County, Ohio for Montgomery County Engineer Project Spalding Road Expansion Joint Installation. Montgomery County Project number KET M115-0.13 in coordination with the City of Kettering 2022 Asphalt Overlay Program, City Project number 04-122. Move for approval.
Second.
Mr. Bergstresser.
Thank you, Your Honor. This resolution will authorize the city to cost participate with Montgomery County for the installation of a polymer-modified expansion joint system on the bridge that carries Spalding Road over the Little Beaver Creek. This project would be part of our 2022 asphalt overlay program. In the course of planning for that project, we notified the county of the plans to resurface Spalding Road, and they in turn would like to participate with us to install this expansion joint system as part of our project. We will install the system, and then the county will reimburse us for the cost. Be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions of Mr. Bergstresser? Being none, call the roll, please.
Mr. Scott.
Yes.
Ms. Duval.
Yes.
Mr. Duke.
Yes.
Mr. Kleepass.
Yes.
Mr. Lauder.
Yes.
Mrs. Fisher.
Yes.
Mayor Patterson.
Yes.
Your Honor, I have a resolution authorizing the city manager to accept and administer a Nature Works grant from the Ohio Department of Natural Resources. The estimated cost is $140,980. The amount budgeted was $0, and this is requested by the Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Arts Department. I move for approval.
Second.
Mr. Sweeterman.
Thank you, Your Honor. This resolution will allow us to extend the grant that we have received from the Nature Works program of the Ohio Department of Natural Resources. Originally, the grant funds were received in 2018. Due to several reasons, the construction of Gentilly Park has been postponed. The grant, which will fund a playground, will now be able to move forward with Gentilly Park as we have allocated American Rescue Plan funds to the Gentilly Park project, and construction should begin in 2022. The grant will be extended through December of 2022. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions of Mr. Sweeterman? Being none, call the roll, please.
Ms. Duval,
Yes.
Mr. Duke,
Yes.
Mr. Klepass,
Yes.
Mr. Lauder,
Yes.
Mrs. Fisher,
Yes.
Mr. Scott,
Yes.
Mayor Patterson.
Yes.
Your Honor, I have a resolution to make appropriations for current expenditures of the City of Kettering, State of Ohio during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2022, requested by the Finance Department. I move for approval.
Second.
Mr. Sweeterman.
Thank you, Your Honor. This resolution is the budget appropriation for 2022. I do have a few slides for this that we have gleaned from our budget workshop that was held last Tuesday. On the first slide, we would like to mention that we have met the requirements for our operating margin, and that requirement is that our current year revenue exceed our current year expenditures with the exception of capital improvement. We are estimated in 2021 that margin will be roughly $3 million, and the budget for 2022 will be roughly $670,000. Our budget document and the estimate for 2021 does include what we're calling one-time receipts related to the pandemic. We have, in 2021, received $6.9 million from ARPA, $3 million from the Shuttered Venue Grant, and then $1.5 million through the county for our Stay Put program or our rental assistance program. We also received approximately $100,000 in FEMA reimbursement. For 2022, we are estimating our income tax revenues at $52 million. This is roughly the same as our estimate for 2021 of $51.9 million. We are restoring our personnel budget and our full-time equivalents to pre-pandemic levels in the 2022 budget. We began that process partially in 2021 and will complete the process in 2022. We were able to restore approximately $350,000 in operating cuts related to the pandemic. The capital improvement budget that we are presenting to you tonight is roughly $15.7 million. For 2021, we are estimating our general fund to decrease by roughly $200,000, and in 2022 that decrease will be roughly $4.3 million, and as mentioned, that decrease will fund portions of our 2022 capital improvement budget. This graph simply shows the excess funds that we hold in our general fund reserves. GFOA, or the organization that governs governmental accounting, suggests that approximately 20 to 25% be held back in reserves to cover operating expenditures. As you can see, that is accomplished with the maroon color on the graph, and the light blue color are the excess funds that we currently hold in our reserves. As mentioned, our income tax revenues are rebudgeted at about $52 million, and you can see that's roughly a 0.3% increase over 2021. This pie chart shows how we spend our money. Roughly 50% of our money is spent on public safety services for our police and police pension fund, as well as our fire department. Approximately 25% of our general fund is transferred out to other funds, specifically for our street department or public service operations, our Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Arts department, and our capital improvement program. Our personnel expenditures will be increasing by approximately 5.5% in 2022. This reflects restoring staffing to full levels prior to the pandemic. It also reflects a 2.5% wage increase and a 3% increase in health insurance premiums. Our operating expenditures are actually decreasing by about 11% for 2022, mainly due to one-time expenditures in 2021. We typically spend approximately $8 million per year in what we call operating expenditures. Our capital equipment highlights for the year are listed on the slide. Specifically, what I'd like to mention, though, is that the typical general fund contribution to the purchase of capital equipment is enhanced in 2022 by the allocation of $2.1 million of American Rescue Plan funds for capital equipment. Capital equipment is our rolling stock for the community, and we halted and delayed purchases in 2020 and 2021 due to the pandemic. The allocation of ARPA funds will allow us to begin the catch-up process, if you will, for the purchase of capital equipment items. The debt service for the city of Kettering is estimated at approximately, debt outstanding is estimated at approximately $25 million at the end of 2021. You can see on the chart the majority of that is related to the recent renovations of our fire stations, where we have $11.1 million outstanding of the approximately $15 million in debt that was issued for those projects. Lastly, Your Honor, we have our capital improvement highlights for the budget, and as mentioned earlier, we are spending approximately $15.5 million in 2022 on our capital infrastructure. Items of note for 2022, as mentioned earlier, will be the completion, or I should say the beginning of the construction for Gentilly Park, which is being funded by the Rescue Plan, and also Phase 2 of our Rosewood Arts Center project at a close to $1.4 million. The capital improvement program budget does include our regular allocations for street resurfacing and neighborhood programs, including an additional $1 million of expenditures for resurfacing related to the increased gas tax revenue from the increase in the gas tax rate a few years back. Your Honor, that's a very quick presentation on our 2022 budget appropriation. Be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions of Mr. Schwiedeman? Being none, call the roll, please.
Mr. Duke?
Yes.
Mr. Klepass?
Yes.
Mr. Lauder?
Yes.
Mrs. Fisher?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Ms. Duval?
Yes.
Mayor Patterson?
Yes. Moving on to ordinances in first reading. We have none this evening. Certifications and petitions. Ms. Kaczynski.
Your Honor, we do not have any certifications or petitions this evening, but I would like to take a moment to say it has been an honor to serve as your clerk of council over the years. I truly value your mentorship, and your mentorship has helped shape me to be a better public servant. But more importantly, I truly value yours and Maureen's friendship to Lenny, Ava, and I over the years. You're going to be truly missed, and I know you're going to miss my notes during the council meetings. But if you read the note that I read you earlier today, if you flip it over, it says to enjoy your retirement. It is well deserved. So that's all I have.
LaShawna has a young daughter named Ava, and she brings her over to the house first Halloween, Christmas dress up and everything else. So I've got some very good pictures of Ava in my entryway in her costume and all. She has a precious smile. And, I will miss all that.
He needs to turn his microphone on.
Thank you. Next, we'll move on to city manager's report, community update. Mr. Schwiedeman.
Thank you, Your Honor. We do have a brief community update tonight. However, because it is your last meeting, we are experiencing technical difficulties. So I just want to remind everyone that the Public Service Department is working their way through the LEAF districts, and we are currently in District 4 and we'll be moving on to District 5. This is our last time through the city, so if you are in Districts 1, 2, and 3, we are not intending to come back. If we missed you, let us know. We do have some equipment issues, and we do have a couple cul-de-sacs that we will have to go back into in those districts because that equipment was down for a day or so. But we are currently in District 4. We'll be making our loop, and we hope to be finished before we go off for the holiday break next week. I would like to go back to the slides because we are no longer experiencing technical difficulties. And remind you, we are still accepting names and addresses for our holiday program. So if you've decorated your house and would like it included on the holiday tour, please contact our volunteer office at 296-2433. We can go to the next. I would like to congratulate our finance department. They have once again received the Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting from the Government Finance Officers Association. This is in recognition of our annual financial report, and we have received this award, I'm happy to say, every year that I've been at the city and for several years prior to that. So we have quite a streak going. Congratulations to the Finance Department for that. Our administrative offices will be closed next week on Thursday, December 23rd, and Friday, December 24th. We will continue to plug buying local, and I'm sure Councilman and Vice Mayor Klepaz will do the same later. And our last slide this evening is just a reminder that the Christmas Day celebration that was discussed earlier at Poland Farm on Christmas Day from 1 to 4 p.m. Your Honor, if I may, I'd like to add a few comments. I'd like to start with Councilman Lauder. It has been a pleasure serving with you for the last 8 years. Your commitment to our community has spanned 4 decades, and the quality of life in our community has been enhanced by your service. Whether it be your service with the schools or with this city council, the youth and adults of our community have benefited from your service. You have been a dedicated leader of the Partners for Healthy Youth Initiative as well as our Bike Committee. I personally have appreciated your quiet and steady leadership. Your suggestions have always been well thought out and rooted in improving our community. The city staff and I are grateful for your service. Thank you for a job well done.
Thank you.
Mayor Patterson, it has been one heck of a ride these last 16 years. I am blessed to have had your guidance, dedication, spirit, and you can take spirit to mean whatever you would like it to mean, and enthusiasm throughout my entire career as city manager. Your support of our residents and our staff is second to none. Your guidance and insistence that we improve and maintain our facilities is evident in the excellent infrastructure that you are leaving for our next mayors to come. You not only led Kettering, but you represented Kettering at the state and national level. Kettering is respected among our peers because of your willingness to participate in the larger discussions that affected far more than Kettering. The city staff and I are grateful for your service. Thank you for a job well done. In your honor, it would be my absolute pleasure to answer any other questions.
Thought that was supposed to be different. No, thank you. We'll just leave that right there. Thank you. Next, other business not on the agenda. Anyone in the audience participation? If you'd like to come down to the podium, please come on down and give us your name and address. Does anyone like to speak for council?
It's your last meeting for that. Just real briefly, Mayor and Councilman Lauder, the judges, I'm representing Judges Dressel and Long, and certainly my office, and certainly want to thank both of you for your support of the courts. I was talking to them both, and they were like, oh, we didn't even know that it was the mayor's last meeting, and they wanted to attend, but they said they're going to call you individually, and thank you for your service. The one thing that I'd like to also say on behalf of myself and serving with both of you is when Sweeterman brought us to that little council retreat in Houston Woods, I don't know if you all remember it, and we did the disc analysis. And I don't know if you guys remember who you were more like. It was us three in a group. We were considered Ds, or what are called dominants, in the Tony Robbins analysis. And Bruce and Tony were elsewhere, and Amy, and all that. You guys don't remember this, do you? See, I remember.
Oh, yeah, we were outside, yeah.
Yeah, we were outside and doing the leadership stuff, but I had a lot in common with both of you, and what I wanted to say is both of you were kind of mentors to me, specifically you, Mayor, so I certainly would like to thank you for that. I've worked with two Donalds in my life, and I certainly prefer the local one.
Thank you.
That's good. That was good.
What many people don't know is Mayor Patterson has actually had many opportunities to serve elsewhere. He was asked to run for state representative. He was asked to run for state senate, county commission, dog catcher, whatever else.
Almost took that one.
And I remember him and I talking multiple times. I said, well, you should look at it, and he's like, absolutely not. I love my job. I love being mayor. And one thing that I always used to say after reading our proclamation while serving on council was the great city of Kettering. And I mean that. And the main reason why it's so great has been your leadership for 16 years, and certainly since I've been serving for the past 10 years. And Mayor, I'd like to thank you for your friendship, and certainly on behalf of the city, myself, my family, thank you for your leadership and what you have done for this community. So
Thank you.
That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. Anyone else like to come speak for council? If not, hey, Ron, come on. No, dude. I love it. I love it. Next, no audience participation. Next, we'll move on to council committee reports, and we'll begin with Vice Mayor Klepaz.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. Last night, several of us attended the annual holiday concert at Fairmont High School at the Trent Arena. As we always talk about, it's unbelievable the talent that is at the high school, and when you see them perform, you think they're right up there with the Philharmonic and anyone else that you would see that are professionally players. A lot of credit goes to the music department for bringing that out in the students, but I think the most of the credit goes to the students who worked so hard to put that on. So we all enjoyed it, those of us who were there. Look forward to next year. They keep raising the bar, and they keep getting better and better. And now, Mayor, if I may, we'll continue on with a few tributes tonight. Bill Lauder, where'd the last 8 years go, man? You've been such a welcome voice to our team on City Council. I've always admired your calm and thoughtful reasoning to solving issues and problems. More so, your specific focus to the youth of Kettering is second to none, as exhibited by your involvement with Partners for Healthy Youth and your volunteer work with the Dorwood Optimists, who are friends of youth. Bill, I'll miss you on council, but I know you're still going to be around town, so that's all I wanted to mention. Next, sometimes things are worth repeating. Excuse me. And what I'm going to say is worth repeating because it means so much to me. Mayor Don Patterson, I've been on your team since 2007. I mention team because you always made me feel an equal part of the team. And I've learned from you that it's not one person, but a team of folks that should take credit for making Kettering a great place to call home. As I reflect on the past years with you and think of the phrase, groundbreakings, ribbon cuttings, serving, volunteer luncheons, employee service awards, cookie walks, fire and police officer of the year, and more, I best remember our biweekly coffees at Panera, which you all heard about a little bit ago, where we talked for several hours with no planned agenda, and then you go home, as the mayor mentioned, and Maureen says, "Have you been with Tony all that time? What have you been talking about?" And the answer was always, as he said, nothing. So we've been like a Seinfeld show for many, many years. Mayor, I'll miss working with you during my final 2 years on City Council, but I expect we will meet again soon at Panera for our next episode of Seinfeld. Lastly, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to all my colleagues on council, city staff, and all residents. And for the last time this year, shop Kettering. Thank you.
Mr. Lauder.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd like to thank the Kettering residents that elected me twice to City Council. It has been my privilege to serve the city and its residents in this capacity. It has also been a pleasure to serve with my fellow council members, those on council now, as well as Amy Shrimp, Joe Wanamaker, and Rob Scott, who served previously. A special thanks to Mayor Patterson. I enjoyed working with you these past 8 years and learned much from you. I especially respected your commitment to the job and the city, and a shout out to Maureen for obviously giving you the good advice and guidance that has allowed you to make good decisions over all these years as mayor. What I always knew, but was reinforced, is that this is an extremely well-run city. It starts at the top with City Manager Mark Swiderman, who is certainly the top manager in our area, if not the state. He has surrounded himself with a skillful and highly capable senior leadership team. Steve as Assistant City Manager, our two chiefs, Police and Fire, Chip and Mitch, and the directors, Mary Beth in Parks, Dave in Public Works, Nancy in Finance, Tom in Planning, Ted and Maggie in Law, Drew in Administrative Systems, and boy, you helped me with my laptop. Amy in Economic Development, and Jenny in Human Resources. Their commitment to serve the residents permeates through the entire rank and file of city staff. A special shout out to Shauna for keeping me and us organized through all these years, and I still feel you were the best dancer, by the way. Again, thanks to all. Best wishes for our new mayor and our new council members. Thank you.
Thank you. Miss Fisher.
I want to give a shout out to the 100 volunteers that came out this past weekend to serve our most at-need residents with food baskets. I had the Fairmont football team helped us carry. Even though there was a monsoon that happened Saturday morning, we were still bringing out boxes and putting them in people's cars. So that's my community report. Your Honor and Bill, I will miss you guys tons. I'm not going to get weepy, because here's the deal. We'll see you later, because I know you're both going to continue to serve, and your legacy is all around us, and we'll see it daily. That's all I have, Your Honor.
Mr. Scott.
Well, first of all, I'd like to recognize and thank the Key to the City of Kettering recipients this evening. I think their dedication and service is much appreciated now, and I'm sure also in the future. I don't think any of you are going to quit working for the city. Mayor Patterson, as a citizen of Kettering, I appreciate your leadership and obvious love for Kettering. It's apparent in everything you do. We see you around the city. However, over the past few weeks, as a new council person, your skill and love for the city is even more apparent. So thank you for your service, and good luck in the future.
Thank you. Ms. Duvall.
I will keep it brief, especially for our very patient Cub Scouts back there. You guys are doing great. I would just want to say that I haven't served with you both very long at all, but if when my time on council comes to an end, if people say half as nice of things about me as they do about you guys, I'll be happy. So thank you for your service. You guys are wonderful. That's all.
Mr. Duke.
Boy Scouts, Cub Scouts, I'm not going to be quite that brief, but hey.
I tried, guys. Sorry.
First of all, to Bill Lauder, Councilman Klepaz and I had a meeting with Bill Lauder in Tony's office at Panera Bread 8 years ago with the thought that we were going to try to convince Bill Lauder to run for city council. We had worked a little proposal up and we had ideas and we're going to convince Bill to do this. So we proposed the idea to Bill and instantly he said, okay, I've been thinking about doing that anyway. So all our plans went for, didn't need them. We wanted Bill to get involved with the city because of his vast experience with the education community and his track record of working with children in this community. Through his work with Partners for Healthy Youth and other community programs, Bill has provided needed leadership in many areas of community education. In the 8 years that I've had the pleasure of working with Bill, I cannot recall any time where he has raised his voice in anger or criticized another person's idea. His demeanor is calm and professional at all times. What that style allows for is open dialogue and a lot of good ideas to come forth. You can see evidence of Bill's 8 years of work in our Partners for Healthy Youth programming, the creation of our Youth and Family Community Resources Coordinator, and his strong support for the development of bicycling in our community. Bill, your gifts and talents will be missed by this City Council. Thanks for your leadership and your hard work over these years. I wish for you and Julie all the best as you enjoy the next phase of your life's journey. To Don, first of all, I am pretty honored and humbled to receive a key to this city. You have no idea. That brings me to tears, and I thank you. I'm not sure it's deserved, but I really appreciate it.
I'll take it back.
No. Yeah, no, you're not getting it now. No. I know what it opens. You're not. I met Don Patterson while campaigning on a cold and misty evening, and we were both putting up yard signs in the same neighborhood. I remember it was misty because Don had on a really nice-looking raincoat, and I didn't have one at the time. I was kind of jealous. I think the year was 1995. That's kind of how far back we go. It was my fourth political campaign at that time, and Don was brand new. It was his first. We ran into each other, we introduced ourselves to each other, and then very quickly we commiserated and complained about how miserable it was to be out campaigning on a cold and rainy night. I had no idea that on that evening our introduction would turn into more than 26 years for me of a political relationship, but even better, a long-lasting friendship with Don Patterson. Much has already been said regarding Don's many accomplishments, what he's achieved as mayor, so I'm not going to repeat any of that information. But I would like to comment briefly on the nature of our political and friendship relationship. I often think of a city council similar to a sports team. Tony sort of alluded to that in his comments. To be successful, any sports team needs a quality coach and a strong team captain. Don has both of those qualities. As coach, he openly shares his vision and plans for making this community a better community. When the players around him, like council, often challenged that vision, he listened. He explained his position, and he was receptive to new ideas and sometimes revision of his plan. As captain of the team, Don often, quote, rallied the troops to get support for something we were trying to accomplish in this community. That often meant individual phone calls from him, emails, contacts, visits, with each of us on council to get our opinions and then build consensus. As I said, it takes a quality coach and a team captain to build a successful team, and Don Patterson has both of those necessary qualities. Now, we all know that Don can get very emotional, and while we might tease him about that from time to time, I believe it's that emotion that makes Don the quality person he is. He cares deeply about others, and he has great compassion. His love for Maureen and this community are examples we could all learn from. So, Don, as we end this chapter together, I want you to know that I value our friendship. I look forward to spending quality time together down the road. I'm a better city council person because of your leadership, and on behalf of our citizens, I thank you. Best wishes to you and Maureen in the future. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Really just a few comments. I think people understood that this was a team effort. Although I was the one up there that would get this recognition or this speaking thing, everything I believed to my core was because we were a team. And what I mean by a team is first and foremost we're our residents. Because whether you're a council person here, an elected official, staff, etc., the most important thing to all of us in whatever aspect we're talking about is what's best for our residents and how can we be a better community. And I always felt that. And having heard comments from people tonight and all, I think we were successful in letting people know that it was a team. It wasn't one individual. Maybe one time somebody pulled a little harder than the other and somebody else pushed from behind. But it was always a team effort. And I told Mark that I wanted to go around to each one of the departments and say thank you to all of those people. And I'm not just talking about the directors of each department. I was talking about all of the people in all of the departments. And we went to every building, every department, every office we could go to and talk to everybody. And I wanted to thank them, whether they were in the street departments, whether they were in the accounting, the planning, the finance, the law department, police, fire. We were in all of them, volunteer office, Parks and Rec office. It was better than I had hoped for in going around and seeing these people. Because not only did they believe that our residents were important, but they thanked me for what I had done. And I kept reminding them that it was them and us that got it done. And that's what makes us so special here in the city of Kettering. It isn't about me. It isn't about that person. It isn't about that person. It's about us as a team and all the department heads and all the workers. No matter what level you serve on, no matter whether you're working in the streets department or working in the parks or working wherever, we have something special here. And I know that will continue on. Not because of the person sitting in this chair, although I love you to death, Peggy. It'll continue because of the people that sit in the offices around this chair that make it happen. You have all been friends. I have always had a good time with employees. I've never felt that there was a difference between every employee. And so I tried to treat them all the same. People continually ask me what I will miss. And it's the same answer. It's the people. Whether it be our residents, whether it be our staff, whatever it may be. I had the opportunity, as each department director knows, you have your own little community within your department. And I had my little community. Shauna knew what I needed before I knew I needed it, or leave me a note to remind me that I did need it. And I appreciate that. We had good times, we laughed, we kidded, we enjoyed each other's company, and I thank you for that. I thank Amy Hayslip for the time that she's been there and the things that Amy's done and the organization she brings to that side of the office. She's a constant professional, and I know that she will continue to do that, and the city manager's office will be better for that. To Anna, we brought her on to help with handicap issues. And that was something that, at the time, for me, that wasn't something I really thought about. But in my daily life with Maureen, I realize how important that is with somebody with a disability. You don't think of the uneven surfaces when you're pushing somebody around in a wheelchair, or you don't think about the damn doors that don't have buttons to open them, and you're trying to hold them open, your wife's leg's trying to hold the other one open, and you're trying to get in the front door. But Anna brought that to us and has worked tirelessly to make this city more handicap friendly. To Mary, if all you people think that I write that stuff that you read, I do. I can't even look at her when I say that. Mary was able to take the words I could no way get out of my mouth and put in a cohesive manner. She could take those ideas, those passions, those dreams, hopes, and work and make them sound damn good. People would call me up and say, "My God, I just read your article in the Saturday paper and it was great." I'm like, "Oh, I toiled over that for weeks trying to put that together." But Mary was able to capture that and give me a voice that people could understand, not only in the language, but in the passion that I had for that. Thank you, Mary, for all those things, and more important, making me not sound like an idiot. So thank you. To Amy, new kid on the block, but I knew Amy before she was in this position, I was involved in, because her and Maureen were friends. They worked together at the chamber. And I talked to Amy about running for council and the satisfaction that one can get from serving your residents. And the reason is because I could see that passion in Amy. And whatever Amy's done, whether it was there, the coalition here, the passion is there. And you can get a lot of things done and get a lot of things done well with passion. And I saw that in Amy years ago. And this business community will be better off because you took this position and will guide us into the future with our economic development. To Steve Bergstresser, our engineer, damn, everything is not black and white. There is a gray area. And I was always trying to push and find that. But if you've ever dealt with an engineer, it's black and it's white. But Steve would always listen and try to explain in idiot terms so I could understand why things were, why things needed to be. And I could always go to Steve for counseling when I didn't understand something about engineering, road work, bridge work, all that boring stuff. And Steve would bring it to a level where all of us could understand it. And that was an immense help in doing things and passing things, that we had the ability to understand that. Plus, Steve's my neighbor that lives across the street and down 4 houses, so, you know, I'll get to watch his 3 kids grow up. I had the first experience at the mayor's Christmas tree lighting, and Steve's 3 kids helped count down, especially his daughter, who was quite animate about counting down. And I remember when they came up, I said, now, do you know how to count backwards from 10? And they were like, yes, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. And I thought, okay, just like Dad. They got it down. So, Steve, thank you for your dumbing some of the things down so that we on council could understand the things that you have to know as city engineer and as assistant city manager. Although I gave that job to Mark 2 weeks ago. And finally to Mark. I talked several things about Mark and what he means to this community. And Mark's another one of those people that likes to kind of do things in the background. He used to do it a lot more in the background. And his leadership and the things that he's done over the years and the organizations he's become involved with and chaired and been president of have helped other communities across this entire state. While I care about that, my first love and passion and thanks is for the city of Kettering. That man is tireless. I can remember when I'd come in here on Sundays to get things done, Mark was already here. This is on a Sunday. He would be in his office working, trying to get things done. He's a selfless public servant. Family is first. The things he gave up and gave to this community, you can't even begin to understand. Mark was a partner of mine side by side. We served in this position for 16 years together. We were able to do things that, when I first ran, I didn't even know I wanted to do. But we were able to get things done, to modernize our facilities, to grow this community, to get good people in good positions and passionate, and to take care of our residents. And I hope that after I'm gone, that people remember two things. One, that it was and always has been a team effort. And second of all, how important our residents are, and how, with an unbelievable task, we are charged with in providing the best community in this entire region. I have no doubt with the leadership coming in and the directors and people that we have, that we'll continue to move this city forward. We'll continue to do great things, and we'll continue to be the best in the state of Ohio. Thank you for allowing me to sit in this chair for 16 years. Tonight is my last night. I look forward to the opportunities, challenges, and opportunities again that come along that I can become involved with. I have loved this journey. I have loved our residents. And I've loved every one of our employees. Thank you for what you do. I look forward to the next chapter in council and this organization's life, and I look forward to mine. So, if there's no other business to come before us this evening, the next regularly scheduled meeting will be January 11th, 2022. With that, we stand adjourned.